Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful, beautiful C-Space Studio Theater. Now, before I get going, I just want to stipulate that I think I finally discovered how to be that guy that needs no introduction. I want to take this giant screen and that huge projector with me now everywhere I go. This is awesome. Look, I want to speak on behalf of the entire production team, both on the stage and behind the stage. I just want to state an amazing, heartfelt thank you for being here tonight. I can't even describe to you how happy we are to see you and happy at the prospect that you've joined us for this amazing creative experiment that we're calling the 3 Project. As the producer of the project, I just want to take a few moments to talk to you a little bit about why we're here and why I'm standing here in front of you, why I think we're here. It starts with just a little story that happened about 12 years ago when I opened a little music and arts cafe in downtown Calgary called Koi. And I thank you, whoever's doing that. Thank you. Just now closed after a fantastic 13-year run as one of the best music and arts small venues in Calgary. But I opened Koi to provide a place for community artists to gather, to get to know each other, to be valued, to be encouraged, and most importantly, for a place for them to share their art. So this story begins at maybe the first month or 6 weeks that we were open at Koi. Still didn't really know what we were doing, still didn't even know that there was a community out there, but I had met a number of community artists already. I was in the restaurant in the early afternoon getting ready to open for the day, and I saw a person knocking on the door, and I recognized this person. He was a guitar player who I had seen playing in various venues around town, and he was a pretty regular fixture in some of the bars and the venues and so on. He was knocking on the door, so I let him in. He walked in to our little cafe, walked around, started looking at the changes we had made. They looked at the stage that we had built, looked at the sound system we put in and the lighting that we put in to make artists feel valued. He kind of nodded his head and gave me a nod of approval. And then he came up to me and he said, I don't know if you know me, but I'm a guitarist and I play around town quite a bit and I'm always looking for new venues and new places to gig. So I'm here to ask you for a gig, which was not a surprise. And I greeted him. I said, yeah, I have seen you. I've seen you a couple of times and I know who you are. And I appreciate the fact you're looking for a gig, but we've decided here that we're going to make this a place for the community, for community artists. And so we are going to do shows, and we are going to do showcases, but we're going to offer those shows to the artists that have joined the community here, that have gotten to know each other, that have gotten to know us, and have developed. And we're going to give them the opportunity to showcase at Koi. And he looked at me with kind of a puzzled look, and he said, like you mean amateurs? And I think I kind of understood what he was saying, but I was processing this. So I looked at him and said, oh, amateurs, what do you mean by amateurs? He said, well, amateurs, not professionals, not people who perform for a living like me every day. And I said, oh, okay, I can see where you're going. And I said, well, I prefer actually to call them community artists, and I've already seen quite a few outstanding artists. But he pressed into me and he said, well, aren't you a little concerned about your reputation? And I thought, okay, what do you mean by that? What do you mean, should I be concerned? He said, well, you've obviously spent a little money and tried to make this a really nice small venue and a place for musicians to play. And aren't you concerned about the place getting a reputation for just hiring amateur talent? Then it was starting to break the internet a bit. And I realized where he was going. And so I decided, rather than get into an argument with him, I decided to sort of end the conversation, give him an opportunity. So I said, look, I appreciate the fact that you're looking for a gig, but Here, if you want to join the community, if you'd like to come out and just start meeting the artists that are here, getting to know them, exchanging information, supporting our open mics, and just becoming part of what we do here, I'd be happy to talk to you about a gig in maybe a couple months. Well, then he got mad. And he kind of laughed. He sort of laughed in my face and he said, yeah, like I'm really going to do that. And then he turned around and started walking out the door. And as he was walking, I didn't say anything, but this is what I was thinking. I was saying, look, you know, I've already met 3 guitarists from the community that have chops at least as good as yours, if not better, okay? I didn't say it, I thought it. I was still trying to be, you know, polite and, you know, from my Japanese heritage and so on. As he got to the door, he opened the door, ready to leave, but he turned around and looked at me, and this is what he said to me. He said, you know, I don't think I'd ever want to play in a Mickey Mouse place like this anyway. Turned around, slammed the door, walked away. And then I thought, I didn't say it out loud, but I thought it. I could have, because there was no one else in the restaurant. I said, you know what? I also have met about 20 community artists already that are more professional than you. Okay. I agree with that. So that was kind of a moment of catharsis for me, to understand that what he was doing when he used the term professional and amateur was that actually he was creating a dividing line for artists. Okay? He was cutting the dividing line between professionals and amateurs, kind of a have and have not classification. And I realized at that moment that community artists, to call someone a community artist, defies the old definition of professional and amateur. The community artist and being part of a community of artists is a unifying thing, is a harmonizing thing. It's not a dividing thing. And that became sort of the mission of what we did at Koi, and it's been the mission of everything that we've done ever since. And that's one of the reasons we're standing here tonight. As I said, you know, community artists defy definition of professional and amateur. And one of the reasons we are here tonight is to honor community artists. I know there's many artists in the room, and even those of you that don't consider yourself artists, okay, in whatever job you do, whatever endeavor you pursue, you're also creatives. So we're here to celebrate the creative community tonight. A couple of months ago, another artist quoted a motivational speaker to me who used a phrase to talk about how one makes a mark in the world and the choice that you have when you want to make a mark in the world, and used this phrase, okay, 1 mile wide and 1 inch deep. So I researched the quote, and it actually wasn't from this motivational speaker. It was actually from an American humorist from the 19th century by the name of Edgar Nye. I think it's up behind me now. And he was standing on the side, on the edge of the Great Missouri River with a friend one day. And it was kind of a wide part of the Missouri River, and he was quite familiar with it. And as they looked at this river, his friend, who had never seen a river so big and so wide, was marveling at the size and the power of this river. Edgar Nye, knowing better, said, well, yeah, it looks impressive, but you know what? It's 1 mile wide, but it's only 1 inch deep. Okay, that's how much influence he thought it had. It struck me when I heard this quote. That was a great way to explain to you just how important community artists are to creativity. Because community artists, even though they do work on their craft and they work on their creativity and want to share their art with the world, because of their lives, because of the priorities that they have, families, rent to pay, other obligations, they have to calibrate how much time that they can actually spend on themselves. But many, many community artists, outstanding community artists, also use their time to plunge their roots deep into the community, to help, to encourage, to nurture, to mentor. We're talking about these outstanding community artists that are teachers, that are educators, that are event organizers, event hosts, friends, colleagues, and most importantly, an inspiration and mentors. And that's what we're honoring tonight. Because those artists, even though they might have a small footprint on the surface, those artists, community artists, go 1 mile deep. and they take care of the community to nurture it, to grow the next generation. So tonight, the 3 artists that you're going to see that are going to be featured tonight in the 3 project are artists cut from that mold. They're not only amazing, outstanding artists, and you're going to see that and enjoy that tremendously, but they are also the kind of community artists that go deep, that care about the community, that want artists to succeed, that don't believe that the old labels of professional or amateur make any sense anymore, that we're all in this together. You're going to see them, you're going to hear them perform, you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to get a sense of who they are. But more importantly, you're going to experience a brand new thing with them tonight. Thanks to an extraordinary script that was written by a member of our production team, who I will introduce later. These 3 artists are also going to be sharing with you a deeper, transparent view of who they are as artists and how that informs their work. They're going to talk about who they were, who they are, and who they aspire to be as a connection to what they create. And all of them are going to show a courageous part of themselves that they've never shown to anybody in performances, ever. This is not your normal song introduction. This is not your normal poem introduction or instrumental piece introduction. You're going to learn something not only about the artists that are on stage tonight, but I hope that you will learn something about yourself. Because tonight is all about celebrating not just these artists, but every creative in the room and every creative that's part of the community. Because we believe at the 3 Project that the story of the artist is the story of the art. And that's what you're going to hear tonight. So thank you for indulging me. Welcome again. We're so happy that you're here. I'm now going to turn it over to our great musical director, Stefano Valdo. And thank you and welcome to the 3 Project.